Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Risk Enthusiast Radio, and thank you to everyone who came out to our first event with Oris. It was a huge success, beautiful weather, tons of food, and of course, lots of Oris watches.
And the thing is, it wasn't supposed to be good weather. We were really excited at the time to actually show the water resistance of our Oris dive watches we're wearing right now outside. You're not wearing a dive watch, but three of us are. We were excited about it, but the weather was really not good. And the fact that the event was on a boat, we were not going to risk that. So we're here now, and it was still a good event regardless.
For the better.
For the better. I think so, yeah.
And if you're wondering who this fourth person, it's not a new addition to Risk Enthusiast Radio. It's VJ Geronimo, who is the president of Oris of the Americas.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, and he is here on theme to talk about Oris and in particular their newest release, which is hidden under an Oris glove right there.
Very
so
serious.
we're very excited to see it. I see like a little strap peeking out. Welcome, VJ.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Nice to see you all and be part of this. You have a beautiful studio here, and nice to be here.
Thank you.
It's all Derek.
It's all Derek. Every time we record, he's like, I added this or I added that. I added this, you know.
I added VJ this time.
Added VJ this time.
I've continued to enhance the podcast. Yeah.
So I think we're going to talk about a lot of Oris. We're going to go through just a lot of, Oris and media, Oris and everything. But I think, we all have kind of been waiting to see what's under there. So VJ,
yes.
If you can do the honors, if you can unveil this to us, tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll, I guess, get our live reactions to it.
I will.
So tell us first why you're creating it. And this podcast is going to be live on the day that this watch is released. So,
yes.
So
as you guys probably know, Oris has been very involved in sustainability for, a few decades. It's not something that started yesterday for us. And we've done a lot of watch projects and different things. And what we try to do is find projects that are relatively small, and we can use our global voice to tell the story, to bring forth the story that's there. This one we're really excited about because it's really local to New York, actually. If you remember a couple years ago, we did the New York Harbor in conjunction with the Billion Oyster Project. So this is the New York Harbor 2. This is the second piece that we're doing with the Billion Oyster Project as well. So it's a limited edition mother of pearl in this really nice slate color that you see. And this will be out obviously today, valid 2,000 piece limited edition. Today.
We've edited this all very quickly.
And it comes in a nice set with obviously the bracelet and the strap itself. So
Derek?
Quick question. What does pressure resistant mean on the dial here?
So because really nothing, you can't say anything is waterproof or water resistant. And really the resistance is about pressure. It's not necessarily about depth. So you can be in, 5 feet of water and put that much more pressure on your watch if you slam your hand down or do something in the water. So it's really about pressure that drives the resistancy of the water.
So pressure resistant is more of a correct terminology than just saying water resistant.
We think so. And then some people say there's nothing that's truly waterproof.
Is that on
right?
all the Aquis watches?
It is.
Okay,
yes.
I got you.
It's like, because when you test these watches, you pressure test them.
Correct.
A lot of times you don't even do it in water. You just pressure test them.
In a pressure tester, right?
Yeah, in a pressure tester. So that's interesting. Okay,
yeah, but we're really excited about this because obviously it's working with the Billion Oyster Project. If you guys are not familiar with the Billion Oyster Project, they're actually based on Governor's Island in New York, so right off the coast of New York. And it basically, what their goal is to plant 1 billion oysters back into New York Harbor by 2035. So they have this whole program where they collect oyster shells from restaurants. So they have restaurant partners throughout New York. There's about 75 restaurants or so that they partner with. So if you go out to eat and you have an oyster or you have a clam or you have a scallop, they basically will take those shells, bring them back to Governor's Island. They treat them, they clean them, and then they replant them with oyster larvae back into the harbor to basically help clean the water, because oysters are natural filters of water. If you go back 200 years ago, before man-made pollution and all this stuff, like the New York Harbor was one of the main places in the world for oysters, and it actually stood to basically just this estuary that was there. And then with shipping and pollution and dredging and things, it all went away. But the oysters were truly the natural filters of the water. So a male oyster can, I think it's 80 gallons a day that a male oyster can filter. So by putting them back in there, that's what they do.
So I live on the water in New Jersey, and we always see people fishing and, in kayaks and jet skis. And I'm always like, is the water too dirty? Like, how clean is the water now?
We were just talking about that together, actually.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot better. Like years ago, it was like you couldn't swim in the harbor. Like it was not really safe because of the PCPs from the river and from the Hudson and different things going on there. And now I think it's gotten much better, the quality. And the Billion Oyster Project actually reports that, life has come back to the harbor. They see things they haven't seen in many years that are coming back into it. So, if you read back, there's like some books that talk about just how New York Harbor was, the amount of wildlife, the birds, the fish, all this stuff at the time, and that was all gone. But we truly are a harbor city, and really a lot has happened to make it so. And their goal is to put that back in. So it's a really close to home project. When I think about it from a watch perspective, usually it's something that's super far away, but this is really close to home, and it's something that a lot of people don't even realize happens among them. Like also, the other thing about New York Harbor is like when it rains, past an inch of water, like the sewage goes right into the harbor because of the way that the city is structured. Wow. So the waste goes right into the water. So that's also a big issue for them as well. So because of just the way that the city has developed over time. So
I wanted to ask you about the dial. So this is a aquamarine mother of pearl dial.
Yep.
So it's a natural stone.
Yep.
And that means that all of these watches will pretty much have a different texture.
Correct. So what we do is we also put a little bit of a tint on the base plate to kind of help it give it some color and bring that forth. But it is a natural stone of mother of pearl, and it can be a little bit inconsistent. So you try to bring a little bit of consistency to it. But yes, they're all different in that way.
And I'm guessing, I'm gonna put my prediction out there. The reason for the color is because that's the color of what the harbor should be. When we get it back to. Correct.
Yeah. I mean the original one had the green. Like the green of it, and if you actually go out there and you looked at it, and it would perfectly match the water. So that's coming back to what it should be.
That one was mother of pearl as well.
It was. Okay. It was like a greenish.
And was it treated in the same way that this style is treated? Because I haven't I remember that watch.
Yeah.
But the way this is treated, I just don't recall any other brand doing a treatment of mother of pearl like that. You see sometimes meteorite treated, different colors and stuff like that. But mother of pearl, I've never. Really seen
and
that like this.
And the first one was a really super popular watch for us. I have to say, in my time at Oris, 15 years of Oris, that was probably the fastest selling or the second fastest selling behind the original Carl Bashir watch that we had. That's what I would tell you.
I love that Carl Bashir.
So those were the two, but mother, really out the door quick.
The Carl Bashir was the first watch that put me on to Oris.
Yeah. Bronze, yeah.
So I'm guessing also, so this is limited to 2,000 pieces.
Yep.
It's worldwide. So even if you don't live in New York, but you want to support this project, you can still purchase the watch until obviously it sells out.
Correct.
And I'm guessing that the proceeds from the watches also come back to help.
The Billion Oyster Project.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really a great organization. And if you haven't seen it, or you should look it up, billionoyster.org. It's really a good organization to see, and it involves a lot of things. And again, being in New York and being New Yorkers, you don't realize just how closely it takes effect, but it really does.
And even irrespective of the story, which is good enough, the price is great.
It's 3,000.
Yeah, for a mother of pearl dial on an Oris Aquis, 300 meters west.
Yeah.
An Aqua Aquis.
An Aqua Aquis.
Wait, but you also get the bracelet. You get the bracelet and the rubber strap too.
Yep.
I like it on the rubber strap though. That aqua strap. I know you're calling it slate.
Yeah.
I always thought slate was a
it's
gray.
Yeah, it's like a greenish. It's like a greenish blue. I would say more of
aqua.
a.
I would say aqua.
Okay.
I like it. Aqua Aquis.
We'll call it aqua.
Aqua Aquis, right? No, it's really nice, and it obviously Oris does a lot more in sustainability than just this. If you want to kind of speak a little bit to Oris in to educate the viewers that, this isn't just a one-off thing for Oris. They're one of the leading players in sustainability in the watch industry.
Yeah, and we've done it for, as I said, like we've done these projects for a long time. And before it was, obviously sustainability has become quite a buzzword in the watch industry. Everyone's talking about a strap. Everyone's talking about this or that. Like we've always saw it as our mission because we made a lot of dive watches. We always thought it was good to give back to the ocean because, do things like that. We've always made those dive watches. So our first watch project around that was in 2009 with the first Great Barrier Reef that we did. Mm-hmm. So it's been a bit of time doing that. And since then we've done countless projects, whether that's again Australia, whether that's the Red Sea in Egypt, whether that's the Coral Restoration Foundation in Florida. Mm-hmm. We've done stuff in Mexico. We've done stuff in Lake Baikal in Russia. Like different things over time, different projects to really highlight those things. So I think, kind of having the credibility, and again, not just based on what we've done. Yeah. Also, from a sustainability perspective, we became carbon neutral in 2021, or we declared our carbon neutrality. We went through the whole process, got it done. And that's relatively straightforward to do, right? You gather up your carbon footprint and then you basically pay to offset it. And you can consider yourself carbon neutral, you get certified, whatever. But then we also went beyond that and we said, okay, we're going to reduce our carbon footprint. And we're not just going to do that, but we're going to reduce our carbon footprint. So we're going to take 10% a year is our goal to reduce our footprint. And as a growing organization worldwide, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do because, and most of it is not from materials. Like when you think about how many watches we make or the materials are about the equivalent of about 3 cars. Like it's really not that much from a materials perspective. Where the where the footprint comes from is it comes from travel, it comes from logistics, it comes from, shipping things all over the world. So we've taken some steps to do that. One of the things we did in Switzerland is we basically produce all of our own electricity in the factory, put solar panels, did stuff like that, which is relatively straightforward, be able to do that. So that was a step. But then we reduced our packaging. So if you look at our Oris packaging, our new packaging, we moved to all recycled boxes, much lighter, much easier, can fold them up, they can go. So the volume it takes up, the weight it takes up, really helped us reduce our carbon footprint in that area by 55%. So like those kind of steps. And again, people might say, oh, I'm buying this luxury watch, I'm getting this box that's, and yes, you've bought watches. I'm sure you've all had watches where there's boxes that are bigger than your head and they're like this big and it's like, and then they sit somewhere and it's not,
which I don't like for the record,
which is fine, like, which is okay. Like that's, that, and we did it too. We had presentations of boxes and different things, but when you understand why we did that, that's why we did it, to help in that.
The trade-off is well worth it because, like you said, a lot of these watch boxes are just going to sit in a closet and just, somewhere and just collecting dust.
Yeah. You're not wearing a box. You need it because you need it if you ever sell the watch, but then it takes up more space. Yeah.
So we try to do things like that. So to help to help and meet that goal. And we've been well on our way to meeting that goal, and also with travel and electric cars and renting cars and doing things like that. That's what we do. So cool. That's kind of how we do it. Yeah.
One of the first sustainability projects that I came across with Oris, obviously pretty new, is the upcycle.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Because people don't know.
So the upcycle uses PET plastic, right? We actually launched the upcycle watch when we declared our carbon neutrality. So the year we published the sustainability report, that's when we launched that watch. Mm-hmm. We had done something, we had a limited edition called the Clean Ocean a couple of years prior, and that had a PET disc of plastic on the back, on the case back. And we were trying to do something with PET and wanted to make a full case out of it or do something about it. But it just after R&D and certain things, it wasn't possible to do that. So we opted to do the dial, and it's a really great watch because if you've seen PET, it's all different. It's all unique. You never find the same piece of it. And then we put it on the dial. So all the dials are entirely unique. Right. So people really like that about the watch.
It looks cool.
Yeah, they look cool. They're different. I've seen people fight over them, and then people come in and they're like, "I want that one." I'm like, "Sorry, it's gone. You can't get it back." So it's a really good concept.
Some have like more blues and pinks, right? And
exactly.
Stuff like that. Yeah,
exactly. Similar to that, where we put a little bit of hue.
Yeah.
In the different size models, so there's a relatively standard looking color to it, but and then it gets, and then they're all different based on the front. So
and you release a sustainable, is it every year you release a sustainable?
Usually, yeah. Sometimes we do two. Like we've done different ones. We try to do something like that each year. Yeah. Put out an LE around that. So people seem to like them and enjoy them, and we've had some really good success with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Cool. So I'm going to take this off, but we really like it, I think, is the general consensus.
Yes, no, definitely. I've just never seen a mother of pearl. I know you said it's more of the base plates making it that color, but I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's also very on trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Ben's being won over. He, like 6 months ago, he said that he doesn't like stone dials, but I feel like slowly you've been...
Well, I don't like the clear mother of pearl, not to get too into the weeds about it. I don't like that. But that looks really good.
This is cool. Sometimes I feel like cheap. I feel like mother of pearl generally can be a little bit like feminine for for a man, but this doesn't have that issue at all, which is really cool. It just has a very cool kind of flowy dial.
Well, you take mother of pearl, you make it blue, and you put in a 43 millimeter, so it's definitely not like sold as a feminine watch. But then most importantly is like what VJ told us is the story of why they chose the mother of pearl, the story with the Billion Oysters project. And that's like what kind of ties everything back together. Like you mentioned, as all New Yorkers here, well, minus the transplants here, but it's like we all call New York our home. So this is a project that directly impacts both New York plus what we love about watches. So congratulations on the new release.
Thank you.
I'm sure this will sell out really fast today. And I'd love to hear more about Oris.
This episode is sponsored by Delugs. They allow us to do everything that we're doing here at Wrist Enthusiast Radio. And keeping in line with our episode theme of Oris, I am wearing the Oris Diver 65 Cotton Candy in mint green on a Delugs cut to size rubber strap mosaic pattern. I love this. It goes really well together. I mean, these Delugs rubber straps really fit on any watch. And you can also get some great accessories. I have like a 8-watch case that I love as well. I keep all my watches in there. So visit delugs.com. We'll link to it in the caption. And thanks for watching. And thanks Delugs for sponsoring us. So first, let's talk about what's on our wrist, because we're all because of the topic, we're all wearing Oris today. Oris is Oris. What is the plural of Oris? Ori? What's the plural of Oris?
Yeah, it's usually Oris with an apostrophe at the end.
Oris. We're all wearing Oris today, so not Orises. VJ, do you want to tell us what you're wearing first?
Sure. I'm wearing the Blue Diver Date, which came out last year. 39.5 millimeter, really nice proportions. Comes on both the rubber strap and the bracelet. I like it on the rubber strap. It's very comfortable, tropical rubber strap. Ceramic top ring, 200 meters. And really, really nice piece. Dimensions are good. Fits me well.
Have you been wearing that mostly?
I have been, yeah. So I don't change my watch that often.
When I first saw it, might have been that exact watch. I was at a Yankee game with you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to check it out for New Diver's Date. And you brought that, and I saw it. And my first reaction was, obviously, it's not the intention of it. I was like, this is Yankee blue. Like that's we were at the Yankee Stadium, and I was like, what?
That is not why I'm wearing it, but that is true. It's very true.
Especially not now.
Well,
It's another Red Sox fan right here.
I know.
Another topic. So I love it, and I'm partial personally to strap watches more than bracelet watches. So I usually go for a strap watch myself.
What's your other most worn? Just curious.
And I don't change my watch often if I'm very superstitious about my watch. So I wear my watch. But I wore the other day. I took out my first Oris actually, which was a 44.5 millimeter Big Crown Pointer Day. So it had the day pointer on it. It was something. Yeah, when I first started with Oris, it was my first Oris, and I'm like, I'm going to wear this. And I wore it up to Newport. I was like, I'm going to wear this today. But sometimes I'll pull out my Clemente. I like wearing my Clemente, obviously, if it's baseball related,
sick.
things like that. Yeah, I have it.
When did you start with Oris?
I started in July 22nd, 2010.
Oh,
Wow, you remember that? Yeah, literally.
Veteran right here. Yeah.
You just celebrated 15 years. Like
I did,
Yeah.
yeah.
a month
Yeah.
ago.
Yes, I did.
Sounds like you need a new watch.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
No, I've obviously, yes. Yes.
What was your role when you? Was it?
I started at Oris as the CEO of the US.
Okay.
And the Caribbean was the market. And then we folded in and we took Canada on
Slowly
a couple
you
years
added more of
later.
the Americas.
Yeah, and then a few years ago, then responsibility for South America and Central and Latin America.
So if we take Greenland, you'll be the CEO.
Don't really know. Don't really know. But I'm happy to go. Happy to go see what we can find there.
Just another question. Do you? I like. You don't have to name brand names. Do you have other brands like in your collection, or at this point are you solely Oris?
I'm gonna have brands of watch. I've been in the watch industry my whole working career since I was like 23. So I would say that I have brands that I've worked for, but I find it hard to. I don't know. Especially with Oris, like I love the brand. Yeah. I absolutely love it. I find it hard to wear other things. Like I don't find things, and I just like the emotion behind things. So my pieces are. Like, I have a watch my grandmother gave me for my high school graduation. I don't wear it, but it's sentimental to me, as most things are, right?
Yeah.
But like, I always find myself wearing things or having things that are like, oh, we did that. We worked on that. So like, Roberto Clemente, like the Red Bar limited edition that we made. Like these are things that are very personal to me that I like, and that's how I choose my collection. I don't really wear too much, but I have some other pieces in my stuff. I was looking downstairs and there's Concorde, and I was like, "Yeah, that was." I have a Concorde in my collection.
Maybe the most obscure brand at Derek's store.
It was I started my career working at the Movado Group, so that's where and they were part of the Movado Group at the time. So when we had the different things, that's how I had a
I'm
Concorde.
sure you've met my dad.
Oh yeah,
at some point.
Totally.
In both of your careers in the decades being in the watch industry.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. Yeah. So, I saw that downstairs and I was like, oh, all right. Like, it's been here a while.
Maybe you sold it to us back then. No, I was kidding.
All right, Ben, what are you wearing?
So I'm wearing a cool watch, underrated in my opinion. I'm wearing the Oris Diver 65 Cotton Candy on bronze. I'll pass it around.
It's nice patina going on there.
So that's what the coolest part about this is. I've gotten a lot of samples.
Have you ever seen this one before, VJ?
Yeah, have you seen it? It looks familiar.
Have you heard about this one?
I've gotten a lot of
I didn't
samples
pass mine
before,
either,
but
I'm
especially
sorry.
with bronze, it's really hard to like. It takes time to get patina. So like usually when you get a sample, it's a new watch or like semi-new. So, but this one came out a couple years ago.
Yep.
So over time, as it's been like it has the patina, so it's really cool to see that. And I think that pink dial is very on trend right now, and something people are like. Every time I've been posting about, people have been freaking out.
Well, I like that it's like, what is that word we always use? It's like two contradictions. It's like bronze, which is kind of this
Rugged.
aging material, but then you have like this nice bright pink color. So it's like these two different polar opposites coming together to make this really like striking watch. Did you try any, what's it called? Like man-made ways to age the bronzing?
No, especially because that's not mine. But DJ and I were actually talking about this before.
I once
free.
did this with some random brand, like small brand. I don't think they exist
didn't pass
anymore.
mine, so.
But I put it like in like above vinegar for overnight, and it it turned green. Basically.
But the fumes of it.
Yeah.
But I was saying like the acidic side of things will usually take it away and clean it. But I mean, the Carbashir, we talk about it. That was the first bronze watch we did, and that was back in 2016. So it's been some time. And there's a couple people, like, I don't know if you follow Lord Shapley, Stark Shapley. He works with us a little bit, but he's done so many things to the watch. Like it's like Statue of Liberty green. It's like, it's like really like, and then there's a couple people, one of our friends, Kurt, is also working on it and doing that and trying to put it in eggs to make it turn color. Yeah. It's amazing. And the good thing about bronze too, is like, it's very personal to you. It's like, however you wear it is how it's going to do that. So if you decide not to not to wear it in water. You don't want to do that, then that's fine. If you do, it does. But it has.
I would. I think that's the whole draw. The browns.
Yeah.
My question would be, so that this is a diver's date, and that is a diver's 65.
Yep.
Is there thoughts of updating the cotton candy line into divers?
Into diver dates? It's been brought up. I'm not sure if it'll happen in the next in the very near future, but yes, it's been brought up to that. So yeah.
Speaking of cotton candy, I'm also wearing the Oris Diver 65 cotton candy, but this one has the green color on it. What's the official color of this one?
Mint?
It's mint?
Mint green.
Yeah, mint green. Actually, one of my favorite ice cream flavors is mint chocolate. So I was like, yeah, I got to get a green color. And it's been great for summer. I love how striking it looks. I have nothing like this in my collection, so I really love the bright color.
Steel.
The size is great. It's in steel, 38 millimeters. This is the first time now I've seen your tropical rubber strap, and it's really soft. So I was like, okay, that'd be a cool one to add in the future too, to put it on there. And yeah, it's just been a great companion for the summer.
I like that one too.
And what about you?
That one.
It's so on trend.
So I went kind of the opposite direction.
No
vintage, not a diver, no vintage vibes. I kind of consider this Oris's integrated bracelet watch, but it's also kind of a pilot watch. It is a pilot watch, so it's the Pro Pilot X Laser. It's super light, titanium, in-house movement, and the dial is one of the most interesting dials I think that Oris makes, and really any brand makes. It's this like laser etch, right? But there's actually no color. It's titanium, right?
No color. Yep.
There's no color, but it has this rainbow effect, and I don't know how it happens.
That's like the color of raw titanium, I think.
Yeah, but it's the way it's treated, right?
So I mean, that's probably one of the most cutting edges watch we make from technology wise. So we worked with there's a school in Switzerland called ETH, which is like the MIT of Switzerland, I'd say. So we've worked with a few startups in that area to help develop some technology. So whether that's the 3D printed carbon fiber cases you've seen, the laser dial, but that is truly, it is laser etched in the way that it is. So the pattern of the laser cut is what causes the light refraction. So there's no color.
Certain amount of light gets through at different parts.
It gets the different colors. So if you take it in different shades of light, it'll turn different colors. But there's literally no pigment whatsoever in that dial.
So my question would be, that seems like it's pretty precise. So is every dial the same, or is there going to be variance?
It has, as with machining goes, like there's slight variations, but I would say that it's primarily like relatively the same in terms
not
of
like a meteorite dial or
like a stone
an
dial?
upcycle dial or a stone dial where you're going to get a lot of differences. This is going to be fairly consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
One of the funny things about this watch, before I met Craig, I watched his video and read his article on this watch before I even met you or anything like that.
Really?
Yes. I told you this before because you've had this sample before.
Yes, I had it before. I think before Dubai Watch Week 2 years ago is when I first saw it, and I think I did a vid. I mean, I don't know if I did a YouTube. I don't know if my YouTube. I think my YouTube was around then, and I did a review and everything on that watch, and I guess that's what you're referring to. And then I saw it in Dubai again.
Sorry for the car honking. We have the natural New York atmosphere, New York Harbor.
I heard there was another earthquake today while I was on the ferry over to New York.
Today,
Really?
2.7
on August
in New
18th. There's an earthquake today.
There was one a few days ago.
Yeah, there was one a few days ago.
Yeah, August 15th.
2.7 even Earth. No.
There was 3 a few days ago.
I wasn't here. Did you feel it?
No, I don't feel that. All right, so let's get into. Should we get into the other stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What do we have next?
So Ben,
Wanna
you
do
had
the
some
games?
games. Yeah, let's just do some fun games.
And then we'll do some.
Fun game.
And then I think we should talk about baseball and country music.
Sure.
And that will be kind of the wrap.
We're playing this or that with VJ from Oris. Would you rather have the Roberto Clemente limited edition or the Hank Aaron?
Roberto Clemente.
Yeah. You also own that watch.
Yes, I own both of them.
There you go.
What's wrong with Hank Aaron?
Nothing's wrong with Hank Aaron. Roberto Clemente was the original. I like the frosting of the numbers. Like there's some things about it, but I like them both. And I truly do own both of them. But Roberto Clemente. I'd say.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Oris. For your Oris watch, would you rather have it in stainless steel or titanium?
Stainless steel.
Why?
I just feel it's classic. It's more classic and such. And I could be pretty rough with watches. So titanium, it's hard to sometimes get, if you scratch it, it'll stay scratched.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cotton candy, stainless steel or bronze?
Bronze, I would say.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's unique in the sense that it's, it's very, again, we'll get the patina, it'll do that sort of thing. I'd prefer it on a strap than a bracelet, like a bronze bracelet, than a bronze bracelet itself. But yeah, that's what I would say.
What baseball player would you love to see most wear an Oris? It's not really this or that,
Great
but
question. Yeah.
That's a good question. Derek Jeter.
ooh,
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Because I feel like, growing up a Yankee fan, I grew up obviously my whole life a Yankee fan, but, of the time that someone that epitomizes the spirit of that and the whole way that is, I would say, Derek Jeter is someone I'd say.
Perfect.
So, and he does have a Hank Aaron and a Roberto Clemente, by the way.
Oh, is that because he has the award, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you went
Also
back
'cause he loves it.
you went back and gave them to everyone that's won the
Correct.
past, right? Yeah.
So all the past winners of the Roberto Clemente and the Hank Aaron have
Did you
received.
have trouble finding
Yes,
finding
we
people?
do. Yeah, sometimes yes. So some of the ones like Kurt Schilling and Sammy Sosa are a little bit off the radar.
Where are they?
Okay, Red Sox or Yankees?
Yeah.
I wonder.
You
I
should
even have
say
to
something
answer?
so that people don't get
Yankees.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
Diver's Date or Aquis?
I would say Aquis. I think Aquis is just very water resistant with the crown and things like that. And I'm wearing the Diver's Date, so that's a hard
you like
question.
both?
Yeah, I like them both, but yeah, I'd say Aquis.
Okay. Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy? He's ready for this one.
I mean, Kermit because of the size, but Miss Piggy is, she's a little high maintenance. So I'd say,
We're talking about the watches, by
yeah, the watches, the watches.
definitely.
No. Yeah, they were both fun, and they caused, both those collaborations really caused just a lot of, I'd say, happiness in what they were doing. Like people would come up and say, I want to see the Kermit, or I want to see the Miss Piggy, like really genuinely happy to see these watches. And I think that in itself makes it like just fun, because that's really what it was about. And to see that live in person, whether you're doing a show or something, is really nice to see.
chef or animal?
Chef.
Oh,
Chef.
Okay, guys, maybe that's a hint. Maybe it's not. They're Muppet.
Yeah, they're Muppet characters.
Oh, I was like, oh, is that?
Yeah.
I just had one. I don't even remember what I was going to say. If you had to design your own Oris off of one of the platforms, would it be a Pointer Date or a Aquis?
Pointer Date.
Pointer Date?
Yeah. So I feel like that's.
I also agree, but
Yeah.
for me too.
Pointer Date. No, and doing what I do, sometimes I get to participate in those things. So that always is a nice experience to be able to design something or talk about something. So in that sense, yeah.
So one of the things that I know I've done an article about Oris and country music, and I've been playing around with doing something about Oris and baseball as well. Those are two areas where you see a lot of either players, managers for the baseball side, or singers. They're bands wearing Oris for the country music side, but you don't really see other brands tapping into those areas the way Oris has. How did those come about, and was it like an actual strategy, or did it just kind of happen organically? I just want to learn more about that.
I think we always like to say at Oris, like, if it feels good, do it. Like if you feel right about it, do it. So
Maybe go your own way.
Go, yeah. But, Rolf too, like Rolf Studer, our global CEO, like just, we have a very good relationship about things, and, always open-minded about different projects and different things. And I think, this is an industry too, where there's a lot of people, there's a lot of big brands, there's a lot of big company. We are a smaller independent brand. So we try to find things and do things that really are different or come across that way. But what happened with baseball, it was pretty straightforward in the sense that people that know watches know Oris, right? If you went out to the actual general public and you said, tell me about Oris, and they'd be like
Orvis?
Half of them would say Orvis or whatever. And, when I started, like, people didn't know any, people in the industry didn't even know the brand, right? So like over time, like awareness has grown and we've done advertising and we've done things, but we wanted to take a next level step in terms of just general awareness of the brand. So we started advertising with the Yankees and doing something baseball related in that sense. When we put up the sign in Yankee Stadium, about a week later or so, I got a call. Aaron Boone wants to talk to you. Aaron Boone's agent wants to talk to you. And I was like, okay, like we don't do celebrity, like that's one of the things, we don't do celebrity ambassadors. We don't pay people to wear watches. It's just not something that we do, like just not part of what we did. And I, prefaced it with that, but had a conversation and basically he just wanted to reward, like they were there, they all saw the sign, they were all watch people, the coaches and stuff. And so he thought it would be nice to reward the people with watches. So we just, he's wearing the watch. So we gave him some watches to wear to give to his coaches. And then he's just wearing, then started from that. And then as it's gone on and people talk and managers talk and baseball things, that's how it's grown in it. But it's, word of mouth grown that way. But that's it. And then we started doing advertising with the Braves and the Padres and different teams like that. So really kind of delving into baseball. But yeah. And it's also, we're also big baseball fans. So that helps too, right?
Definitely. I heard that Alex Cora has
a red date relief. Yep.
Is that a hard one to approve him getting?
It wasn't. Well, I mean, in here, no, it was fine. My daughter, she's like, what? She's like, you can do that? Why are you doing that?
How dare you?
Yeah. But basically, Rob Refschneider, who plays for the Red Sox, is someone who likes Oris and, acquainted with, and he, basically he said he wanted to get some of the people, so he helped us do that too. So we had some connections in doing that. But yeah, Alex Cora has one. Basically, a lot of managers are wearing them. Carlos Mendoza, the Mets, your local people here.
Let's go. It's one stop away.
Yeah.
Literally.
My question was, what are some like inside baseball things you can tell us about like how you guys choose which teams to work with? Like you have Yankees, you have the Braves, and the last one,
Padres.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we worked with the White Sox for a little bit too. And we stopped working with the White Sox at the right time, I think, last year with their. So no, it was just more of a. It was more, how do we cover off the country in a way that was efficient with teams that made sense, and how do we kind of keep our advertising national in that sense? So obviously, the New York covered. New York, Atlanta's the biggest television market in the country for baseball. So they cover the whole southeastern region, and then San Diego and then Chicago. That's how we basically did it. Dodgers were ridiculously out of the realm of yeah. So
we picked also some of the most rabid fan bases, I think, too. Especially when I think Braves, like they are.
Yeah. And it's funny, like the year we started with the Braves, they won the World Series, which was nice, which was good.
Very nice.
Good way to start. Yeah.
So and then they just had the All-Star game down there, and they did the home run derby. So we have the sign in center field. It got a lot of nice publicity in that sense.
Can you see like more people visiting the Oris website when there's something like the All-Star game? Can you even track that?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say visiting so much the site. I mean, we get a little bit. You get a little bit of lift. We've done some newsletters, things like that. We've seen some lift from it. But I will say, like the word of mouth of baseball, like is like nothing we've ever done. Like I hear all the time, and not just in New York. Like Aaron Boone's watch. Like I hear it in wherever if I'm doing an event in like Seattle, people like will say it, like, so it's interesting.
My dad texted me one time. He's watching the game. He goes, "What watches?" He does this all the time. What watch is Aaron Boone wearing? I'm like, it's an Oris. I knew that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. And inside baseball, you get to been fortunate enough to meet some of them and become friendly with them. And they're just really super, like he's just a super guy. Like Aaron is like, I can't say enough about him as a person, as just a stand-up guy, and then I see all the stuff with the media, and I'm like, no,
you don't get it.
Yeah, just that home run in what year was it? 2003.
Yeah. Against who?
Yeah, against the Red Sox. We won the World Series. You want to talk about what happened the next year?
Yeah, I understand.
In the ALCS.
So you guys have done baseball up, but I see a lot on social media with country music. How did that start?
Yeah, so we also, one of the things, like just we were like, okay, we like country, so we made a little bit of an effort to try to get our watches into country music. And again, it's just word of mouth. People just supporting them and doing that kind of stuff. And that's how we started, with a few people, just with people that we knew or became acquainted with. And yeah, and again, they're also just regular people, really good, down to earth. And yeah, there's not a lot there and such. And yeah, it's been really nice to see.
Cool. And they all talk, I assume. Like,
yeah, and they love watches. So it's like, yeah.
Wait, who are some of the country singers or artists?
Everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, some of the people, like recent people, like Mitchell Tenpenny, if you know who he is. Yep. George Burge is another one. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the band people, like Luke Combs' band. Combs, yeah, he's a big watch, and he's a big watch guy. Like he's a up here watch guy. Like he likes a lot of different things. Super nice guy from what I hear. Mm-hmm. I've heard stories of him walking into retailers and just buying watches for people and doing really super nice guy. But people like that. We put one on Dwight Yoakam. We have one on, again, Luke Bryan's band, a lot of people there. It's a number of, it keeps growing. So Megan Maroney, if you know who she is.
Yes.
Do they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them? Combination of the two?
In the beginning, we reached out, but of late, they've come back to us. So it's been a nice.
I'm starting to think that all of the Oris collaborations come from VJ's personal hobby. He's like, well, I'm gonna get into car racing now, so we're gonna reach out to some F1 drivers.
NASCAR,
and now,
well, I mean, not all. Some of them, yeah, like some of them came from that, and like the baseball stuff, like. We had done baseball and we're like, okay, we want to make some product around baseball. What are we going to do? So how are we going to do this? But, Roberto, like just being what the brand stood for, the conservation side of it, the humanitarian side of things, how we go about things, like that was what we arrived on as being like just the perfect person to kind of tribute and basically commemorate, because was a great baseball player, did a lot for minorities, did a lot off the field, was really humanitarian. So it was perfect. And it's such like, I can't say enough about that project. I can't say enough about the Clemente family. I just can't say enough about how good of people they are and how good you felt with that watch and how good that whole thing was and still is today.
I was there in Atlanta for the launch of
Hank Aaron one. Yeah.
Or Roberto Clemente.
And Hank Aaron. Yeah. Well, Roberto Clemente too, happened like that was all lined up, like ready to go, started that, and then COVID. And then so like that was launched virtually, and it was still a great launch, but I was a little disappointed we didn't get to do that one in person, but we got to do the Hank Aaron. Yes, sir.
So I think you should do one for the All-Star MVP. Isn't that the Ted Williams?
The All-Star MVP.
Yeah, the Ted Williams All-Star.
DJ would never.
Ted Williams. No.
Have you? But in all seriousness, have you thought about doing like a Cy Young watch or any other baseball watches?
We have some more things in the works. Yes, definitely.
They're actually in the works.
Yeah.
So what is the timeline of maybe seeing something?
Probably
in the next year or 2 years.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So we'll be on the lookout for that.
I have one more thing. You've told me this story before, so I want to hear from you. If you can't tell it, that's fine. But when I was asking you about Kermit and Miss Piggy one time, you were mentioning to me how restricted it is around their licensing. Is that anything you could talk about? I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
when you got it done. Yeah.
I mean, the licensing around it and kind of the content around it
to me.
Or anything is just very, very controlled about things. And, there's certain things that you can talk about with, when we think about the watch world and we think about the name Kermit, like something comes to mind, and like they just would not talk about that because they just can't. It was just something they wouldn't do, and it was perfect for watch content, perfect for the whole
real
play of the whole thing, but it just wasn't possible. And everything is very the way he appears, the what he can say. He doesn't wear a watch. He doesn't wear a watch because he's not in the real world, so he doesn't there was a lot of but still it was obviously we came to an agreement. We did what we did, and but still it's very very much that. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you deal with a company like Disney too, how big the company like Disney is.
And they're probably so protective of these are children's characters that are so wholesome, and you want to make sure that whatever is being done aligns with that.
Right.
They have to, and they have to be, right? Like it's their, it's like anything. It's like, you've invested all this money in this IP property and doing all these things. Like you certainly want to make sure you have the rules around it and everything under control. And so
the part I find cool is that you kind of put new meaning to the word Kermit in the watch industry. Like you're able to hijack that term.
I'm not gonna lie, I never, when you said that, I never even thought about that.
So I kept thinking about Oris Kermit, and then I was like, wait, you're right. There is another Kermit that everyone will probably recognize.
Did you see? Was it Timex that just released a Pepsi collab?
Seiko. I saw that this morning too. I saw that this morning.
Very similar.
That's kind of similar.
I saw that this morning. I was like, oh,
we did that.
So it sounds like because Oris is a independent brand, like when you were mentioning to us independent brand, like it means that you guys are independent from like some of these larger groups. You guys have a little more flexibility to kind of shift and make decisions a little bit faster than some of these legacy brands. And that's why you can do things like sustainable packaging and like carbon neutral, like things that brands want to do, but they can't just like get down the pipeline because it takes too many signatures or.
Exactly. No, and that makes us who we are. And that's why, like, that's one of the things I personally love about Oris. It's like we have the ability to do those things, and we can go anywhere from making a cotton candy watch to making a 4,000 meter dive watch to make this stuff. There's no like sister brands in our company that we have to worry about making this or that because they do that. Like we could do whatever we want. And I don't mean it arrogantly, just more like we have the ability to do it. Does everything work? No, not everything works. Like not everything is perfect, but you have that freedom of independent thinking to be able to do those things. And that's one of the beauties of, I think, who we are and what we do. And, we're not the biggest company in the world. We're not the smallest either, but we're not like, we have that ability to do that. So,
yeah, I've always seen that Oris has been really hands-on with the collector community. Like, obviously Oris partnering with us is one way of that, but like another great event that I've seen Oris is at Wind Up Watch Fair. And I also see you guys at Watches and Wonders as well. So you guys are like not only at the huge events, but you're also down on like the street level where people are collecting and talking. And I find that cool. Like, what is your thought process on working with like all these communities? And
I've always thought it important to be close to the consumer in that sense. And it wasn't even I wouldn't call it a strategy or a design thing. It was more like, when Wind Up first started, we've been part of Wind Up since the very beginning, since we've participated in every Wind Up that they've had. And like, it was just like, okay, let's, and at that time too, like these, like a Worn and Wound was just coming up, like, and regular brands wouldn't necessarily give them even an appointment to go see them in Basel. Like I remember, with meeting with Blake and Zach, and like we were one of the few brands to actually give them an appointment. And then, eventually more and more years passed and things like that. But certainly just being open to accepting new things, like that's always been part of, I think, what we do. And then, but people love watches. Like, so you want to show them the watches. Like I've always thought it to be like someone like, even like with Worn and Wound or with like a Red Bar or something like that. Like, a lot of things happen in New York, but like, we used to do events in Alabama and in, other like Colorado and places where people, may not necessarily get to see the watches, but it's important to bring the product out and let people see it because people do that. So that's always been the philosophy of trying to kind of bring out the brand and show people the brand and be part of that. And I think people really people have liked that and have seen that effort being made. So
I think Oris probably has the most, out of like maybe any brand, the most touch points with the end customer, not at a retailer, but the kind of corporate people. The way that you bring your camper van,
the Airstreams around,
and do all these small events all over the country.
We do.
Wind Up last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but Rolf was there.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're at Wind Up where there's like 100 brands and you have the CEO of a big watch company, Oris, and you can buy a watch while you're talking to the guy. Like that's like you don't see that.
That's like how it was back in the day where like, when the brands are starting, you would have this more personal connection. And over time, like a lot of these major brands, the distance has gone further. So actually that leads me to my next question. Like for someone like you, veteran in the industry, what have you seen change over the decades? Or
I mean, I think you've seen kind of the way that people, especially like you guys, case in point, like consuming media, getting their information about watches. Like I would say that, again, a long time ago, like if you were a watch enthusiast a long time ago, maybe you got a magazine, you read Watch Time or something, you saw that. You maybe were part of a forum when that first started, maybe you were on there, but then you had no other way. There was no Instagram, there was no podcast, there was none of that YouTube stuff to kind of YouTube stuff, listen to me. There was no YouTube to go out.
Say no my face.
And do that, yeah. But I'm saying there was no individual mechanism to show off your watch enthusiasm, if I could say it that way, right? Mm-hmm. You had to be part of something, but there was no individual mechanism. Now,
your wrist enthusiasm?
Yeah, your wrist enthusiasm, yes, as you would say. But now everyone has that voice, right? So the change has been that you can post your watch every day and someone, you're out there posting that, you're part of that community, you're doing that. So it's like, and it's much more instantaneous. It's much more, right now. Years ago, like, you're a watch brand, you launched your launches in Basel. Okay, here are my launches for the year. It's March. Here's my 30 watches I'm going to release for the year. Everybody sees them. And then maybe you put out press kits and someone gets a press kit and then they write an article for a physical magazine that appears in 3 months from now. So they see it or do it. And, but now everything is so instantaneous, quick. Wow. Like you have it up, you have the concept of embargoes, you have all these things, right? I would say we were, even before COVID, we were one of the first to try to also have watches in store at time of launch. Because like in the Basel example, like you would launch these things and then it may come out to November. Later. Yeah, and the people that wanted to buy it when Basel came, 10 months later may not want to buy it when it actually delivers or whatever it is, right? Because they're on to something else.
What's crazy is that some brands still follow that strategy today. And it's like with how fast information moves, like people forget. And then by the time it actually comes out, you're already moved on. You already bought something.
You bought 3 other pieces already because there is a time frame. So like we've always tried to have the strategy of putting watches in store at time of launch. Does it always work? No, there's obviously logistical and supply chain things sometimes, but doing that. And I think that really just also lends to capturing the enthusiasm, capturing the moment of the launch period and that sort of thing. But when you ask me if things have changed, like those are the things that I'd say have really changed in the way that people see watches. I think people still love watches. I think the love of watches, has only grown over time because of just these available social media outlets, the way that people consume information. I think COVID also did a lot for the watch industry in terms of just general getting people on board and part of the hobby. But that's what I would say.
Awesome.
I think that's most of our time. Do you have more questions?
I got one more question because I know we're going to wrap up. Yeah. So I'm curious because I'm also like by asking these questions, I'm giving the audience a chance to learn about things that maybe they are curious about. So my last question, since we got to wrap up, is like, how did you guys come up with the Oris Bear? Like that's like just a fun thing that I always see in pictures and events and doing wrist shots, and like that. When I think of Oris, I think of the Oris Bear with the wrist shot.
Fun, yeah. So the Oris Bear was back in the early 2000s. We did a collection of watches, an Artelier collection of watches, and we had a designer that helped us with them. And this designer also did like these bears. They did an exhibition in Bern of these bears, and he was someone that helped us with some of the dial designs. And he created like these little bear. He created like a watchmaker, like in a watchmaking code. He created a pilot. He created a race car driver, little bears that were like small. And then they created this one big bear, the suit and tie bear. And he was in the factory, and nothing was really done with him. So I think it was like 2016 or so. They decided just to put him in the booth in Basel, like just put him there. They gave him a little hashtag Oris Bear, and then like
it just stuck.
And people loved it. And then eventually, like, so we actually had that bear we took that bear after Basel, and we're like, we need him in the United States. So we like took him, and we were like shuttling him all over the country, like different events and different things like that.
You'd paint him, right?
What?
You'd paint like different outfits on.
Yeah, but that particular bear, the original Oris bear, that was the original one. Yeah. He was actually at Josh's wedding. I brought him to Josh's wedding at some point, right? And Josh and Vivi, but it was, but he was there for a bit of time, and then eventually they started making more of them, like and then they were in different places in the world. Everyone had them, but we had a lot because we had different bears with the Airstreams. We had different. There's a Yankee bear. There's a Padres bear. There's like all the different team bears.
Can we talk about a really dark period of Oris history?
Yes, we can.
Oris bear TikTok.
The Oris, yes, that was
terrifying.
Yes, it was. I agree. I agree.
Is it still around? Can you still find that?
I don't know.
Has it been washed? So I don't know when. Maybe 2021.
There was a short period of time where there was
an Oris bear TikTok where he would like talk. But it was like kind of like weird, uncanny. He had a weird voice.
Yeah. But of all people, how have I not seen this?
Yeah. Wait, we gotta put this on.
I'd rather you not.
And that's why we're no longer showing the Oris bears at a future event.
But yeah, it's just to your question. He's just evolved, and it actually is a fun. It's just a fun, again. Making people smile is what we say we do, and the emotion that just brings. And Rolf always says, if when you look at a teddy bear, like it makes you laugh, it makes you smile. And if you look at a teddy bear and it doesn't give you positive emotion, maybe you have some other issues going on. But that kind of thing. But it's certainly something that
he's like mirror polished now, right? Is that
so he got a little bit of an upgrade. He got a little bit of an update.
Mecha Oris bear.
Yeah. So in Watches and Wonders, he got a little bit of a.
Is that for good, that one, or are you still gonna have the other Oris bears too?
At the moment, I think it's that's the direction that it's headed in. Okay. So
Oris Gundam launch coming soon. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's it's good, and we love the bear, and the bear has always brought many smiles, many moments, many funny stories, different places, and
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, that just about wraps up our episode. I will just say, check out Oris's new watch. Their limited edition just dropped today. And thanks again, VJ, for coming on to Risk Enthusiast Radio.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right, pleasure.